Hey, I'm Jason Van Genderen and I make films for a living. Originally I used to work in advertising, so I used to make commercials. Then one day I just realised that I wanted to make a story that went longer than 30 seconds. I think the first story I made was a travel or holiday video, and I was just hooked. As soon as I made that and I saw something come together, I thought, this is for me, I love this. My favourite thing about filmmaking, for me, it's always a journey of learning. I will go in to film something one way and I'll end up doing it 3 other ways. And I love that. It's really an exploration thing. Going in and shooting a documentary, for instance, means I get to go on a journey just like the audience does. You know, just pulling out my bag of cameras and gear and just rocking up and finding someone interesting to speak to and capturing a story. I love that.
We need a bit of silence, we need a bit of silence. You know how it ends.
I define my style really as experimental. For me, every story I undertake is a big experiment, discovering a process or discovering a new way of doing something. I like to actually learn just like the audience learns through the telling of the story. The way I get started with a film project is probably pretty unusual, and that is I don't tend to always start with a script or a storyboard. I usually start with an idea from somewhere in the middle of the story, or a technique. A little film I made way back in 2008 on a smartphone. I went out and I just filmed words and signs. And I built up this library of words that I just collected from shop fronts and footpaths and vans driving past. Anything with a word, I just film it. And I ended up with a collection of 1,200 words. So I decided I want to make a story out of just those words that I found. I didn't know where to start. I mean, I couldn't really start writing a script as such out of my head because I was limited to those 1,200 words. And then the rest of the story just came. And I think that's the beautiful part of creativity and storytelling is sometimes the hurdle is really just getting started with an idea. You can always refine something. It's just the start that's always the hardest thing. The thing I want people to take away from my films is really whatever they feel. Because my films are usually about experiences I've had in life and the way I look at something. And it's not always going to be the way that someone else looks at it. But it's a great way of raising a question in someone's mind. If my stories can help people think about something a different way, see a different perspective, and maybe question their judgment on something that they didn't know something about before, then I reckon that's my job done.